Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's Year 9 live lesson. Okay, I'll be turning the comments off as normal. Okay, have a go when you're ready and you're settled. Have a go at the grid in front of you. Okay, same as usual. Okay, have a go. Let me know how you do at the end. These are the key topics you need probably going into year 10, so make sure you get these absolutely nailed. I'll give you 5 minutes to get that done. Guys, I'll give you another 3 minutes to get this done. Right guys, last minute on this. Right then, so I'm going to go through each of these, okay, individually. Again, if you didn't manage to finish, that's okay. Hopefully you'll beat the score you had last week. So, I've got 1300 divided by 4. 4 doesn't go into 1, 0 remainder 1. 4 goes into 13 3 times, remainder 1. 4 goes into 10 twice, remainder 2. And it goes into 25 times. So my answer is 325. Next one, that's worth 2 points. Next one. Okay, I got 983 plus 298. Okay, get really good at adding, taking away, multiply, and subtracting. Okay, because you don't really get taught it again after year 9. Okay, 3 plus 8 is 11. 9 plus 1 plus 8 is 18. And 1 plus 9 plus 2 is 12. So my answer is 1,281 for 1 point. 94 times 39, again, get a method that works for you. It's the most important thing you can do. You don't have to get the one the teacher's showing you. Okay, that's not crucial. You just get something that works for you. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Chinese grid method. Okay, so I've got 94 times 39. 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 9 is 36. And 9 times 9 is 81. Once I'm there, I'm just going to add up my slides. Okay, so I've got a 6 in the first one, then I've got a 1, a 3, and a 2, which is also 6. Then I've got a 8, a 7, and a 1, which is 16, and a 2 and a 1, which makes 3. So my answer is 3,666. 3 points for that one. 3x plus 19 equals 37. I'm going to take away 19 from both sides first. So 3x just moves straight down. 90 take away 19 is nothing. 37 take away 19 gives me 18. 3x equals 18. If I divide by 3, both sides, I end up with x equals 6. 3 points for that one. 8.6 take away 5.47. Again, when you're taking away, fill in any gaps with zeros, okay? 0 take away 7, I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from the 6, turn it into a 5, turn that into a 10. 10 take away 7 is 3, 5 take away 4 is 1, 8 take away 5 is 3. So my answer is 3.13. That's worth 2 points. Next one, I got different letters, okay? Different numbers, different letters, okay? What I would suggest doing is putting in a shape around each one that's the same. Okay, I've got X's, they can have a rectangle. Y's can have an oval. And I've run out of shapes, so I'm just going to put a line underneath the number that's left on its own. Once you're there, X take away 4x is minus 3x. Minus 4y take away, add 1y, sorry, is minus 3y. And then plus 4's just got to go on the end, okay, because this guy's got a partner. Minus 3x, minus 3y, plus 4, that's 1 point. Next one. Right, no, that's not allowed. That's too noisy. 5/5 times 2/3. Okay, I don't know why I've written 5/5. It's the same as a whole, but whatever. 5 times 2. You just times the top times the bottom. 5 times 2 gives me 10. 5 times 3 is 15. That simplifies back to 2/3. I don't know why I wrote 5/5, but I did. 2/3 for that one for 1 point. Next one, £72 in the ratio of 4 to 5. Okay, I got 4 one way and 5 the other. Okay, I've got to add the shares up first. 4 plus 5 gives me 9 shares. Okay, I do the amount of money divided by the amount of shares I got. So 72 divided by 9, it means 1 share is worth £8. That's the key number. 4 lots of £8 one person's getting, so they're going to get 32. And the other person's going to get 5 lots of £8, they'll get £40. 32 one way, 40 the other, that's worth 3 points. And the last one, dividing. Okay, remember this, keep, change, flip. I keep that the same, change the middle bit to a times, and flip that upside down to 3 over 2. 5 times 3 is 15. 8 times 2 is 16. So my answer is 15 over 16. That's worth 2 points. Right, guys, so add those up, okay? If you've beaten your score from last time, that's brill. If you're still consistently getting high scores, that's brill too. Remember, no one's checking this, so it's important that you're honest, okay? Just give yourself an honest score. Don't just copy my answers and say you're getting 18. Right, you will need a calculator for today, okay? It is really important that you have a calculator. Right then, so, important key points, okay? I've got a circle. I'm working out the circumference of a circle. Circumference of a circle equals, the formula for that is pi times diameter. Now, diameter is the line all the way across the circle, okay? That's really important. If you're only going halfway across the circle, that's the radius. Okay, diameter is all the way across, radius is halfway. Now, you will need a calculator again. You can sometimes with this get a couple of answers, because some people use the pi button on the calculator, which is shift in the top left, and then if you press times 10 down the bottom. So if you're doing it on a calculator, shift top left and the times 10 button on the bottom, you're looking for that shape. Some people use that, or you can use 3.14. Again, both answers will be marked correct in an exam, so in case you use either one. Okay, for the purposes of this, just for learning today, I'm just going to use 3.14. 3.14 times the diameter, which is 16. I get 50.24 is centimeters, okay? Because diameter, circumference, the length. What the circumference is the distance around the outside of the shape. So it's the same as doing perimeter. So it's exactly the same as perimeter for a rectangle, but we're dealing with circles now. So that's the circumference, 50.24 centimeters. Okay, if I did use pi, I would have gotten 50.26. So it's exactly the same thing. You just get a little bit of margin of error, okay, in there. I'm going to use 3.14 for today, so it's up to you which one you use. Both will be marked correct. Can you write that down, please, and can you have a go at the one on the right-hand side? Right then, guys, so the one on the right hand side, I always, even though I know what I'm doing and I've got it written down, I always write circumference equals pi times diameter, only because if you keep writing it for every single question, it should stick in your head. Okay, circumference equals pi times diameter. Pi that I'm using today is 3.14 times by diameter of 10. Okay, because my diameter is 10. 3.14 times 10 is 31.4 centimeters. For this one on the right hand side. Again, it's worth practicing writing it down every single time. I'm using 3.14. If you did use pi, okay, if you did use pi on your calculator, shift then pi, you'll end up with 31.4 still. Okay, even with the margin of error, you'd still end up with the same answer. All done? Make sure that's marked up, and let's have a go at some questions. Be very careful at the ones down the bottom. Be very careful of those. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit just so you can see it super clearly. Be careful of the ones down the bottom. On the bottom, they give you the radius, not the diameter. Okay, so be very careful of those. So for this one, if you're working on this one, you'd have to double it and use 48. Right, guys, find the circumference of those for me, please. Make sure you're showing all your work, and I'll give you another minute or so to see if you can get all of those done. If you can't, don't worry. I think, guys, mark whatever you've done so far. Okay, remember that these answers might not be exactly the same as what you got, but if you got something roughly the same, that's okay. Each of these answers isn't using 3.14. Each of these answers is using pi. So if you have used 3.14 and you've got something roughly the same, that's okay. So if your answer is like, for this one, you would have got 116, I think, 0.18. That's okay too. It's absolutely fine. Remember, on the bottom ones, you have to double it to get to use diameter. So you'd have had to use 48 times pi on the bottom one. Right, guys, next one. So, area of a circle. Okay, area is a little bit different. Okay, a little bit of a different formula. You are using a radius this time. So area is pi times r squared. Okay, pi times radius squared. This is another one you need to remember. So you need to remember both of those. Okay, I know it's a lot, but these are things that need to stick in your brain. I'm going to use pi as 3.14 again, times by radius squared, so times by 8 squared. 3.14 times by 8 squared is 200.96 centimeters squared this time, because it's an area exactly the same as you would with the rectangle. It's just the space inside a shape, inside a 2D shape. Now get that down for me nice and quick, and have a go at the one on the right hand side for me, please. Right, guys, so for the one on the right hand side, area, again, always write the formula out. Area is pi times r squared. 3.14 times by 10 squared gives me 314 centimeters squared. Okay, that's what you should have got on the one on the right hand side. Make sure that's marked. Make sure the example on the left is written down, and let's move on. Right, and so what I'd like you to do, have a go at some of these, please. Okay, these ones over here are more difficult. Okay, remember, you can see on this one clearly you've only got half of a circle, so you're going to divide your answer by something at the end because you only got half. Okay, take your time. I will zoom in for you. Okay, If you want to use pi on your calculator, you can. That's probably the answers they'll give. If you want to use 3.14, you can too. Both are fine. Right guys, last 30 seconds on this. If you haven't finished everything and you want to finish the whole thing, remember it's going straight up after the lesson, okay? So you can finish it off there. Right then, so can you mark whatever you've done for me, please, guys? It's so important that you make sure it's all marked up, so you know if you're right or wrong. Remember, yours will be slightly off potentially if you've used a different thing to what they've used. So they could have used pi on their calculator, or they could have used 3.14. Again, the two will give you a slightly different answer. The one they've used, I think they've used pi on their 3.14. So again, you will get a slightly different answer. Right then, so if you want to finish those off, finish them off at the end. We've got a little bit of problem solving. I want to know how much sausage, mushrooms, and tomatoes and toast will cost. Okay, that's what Ethan wants. How much is that going to cost him? Okay, I've zoomed right in just so you've got a really clear picture of what's going on. A bit of problem solving for you. Have a go at that for me, please, guys. I'll give you about a minute and a half or so just to get that done. Right, guys, so very quickly I'm going to go through this, okay? Just going to zoom out a little bit so I can see what's going on. Okay, cool. So what we've got, okay, it's important just to compare each breakfast, okay? So what we've got to find toast, tomatoes, egg, sausage, and mushroom. Okay, we got to find the cost of those in order to build up his breakfast. Now, if you look at the first two, I've got eggs and toast and eggs, toast and mushrooms. Okay, look at the difference in the price. It goes up by 25p, and the only thing that's added is mushrooms. So comparing those two, you can see mushrooms have been added, so they must cost 25p. If that's how much the price has gone up. Compare some other ones now. I've got eggs and sausage, and tomatoes. That one has gone up by 15p. The only thing they've added is tomatoes, so that must cost 15p. I've got egg, sausage and toast. Here's eggs and sausage, here's egg, sausage and toast. Because the price has gone up by 30p, and the only thing that's been added between these two is toast. Toast must cost 30p. The first one is eggs and toast, that's £1. Okay, we know what toast is, we know toast is 30p, so eggs must cost 70p. And then sausage is the last one. Eggs and sausage is £1.50. If eggs are 70p, sausage must be 80p. Now, if we want to build up his breakfast, I got sausage, mushrooms. I got sausage, mushrooms, tomatoes, and toast. If I add those up, 80 plus 25 is £1.05, plus 15p is £1.20, plus 30p gives me a total cost of £1.50 for his breakfast. Okay, don't use a calculator for that one. If you did, it's not the end of the world, okay? Right, guys, so very last thing, just to check your understanding of this, okay? I'd like you to have a go at this. Calculate the area for me to shade it black. I'll give you 2 minutes to get that done. This would be a GCSE question. Last minute or so on this, guys. Right then, so what you should have, okay, you need to work out the area of the big circle first, that's pi times r squared. However, the big circle, the radius is not 10. The radius is only half of it, remember. So it's going to be pi times 5 squared, which will give you 78.5. And then the area of the small circle is pi times 3 squared, because remember, we're not using the diameter, we're only using half, so we're going to be using 3. Pi times 3 squared gives you 28.26. And if you want the area of the black, you've got to take those two answers away from each other. 78.5 take away 28.26 is 50.2 centimeters squared. Okay, again, if there's rounding errors and you're roughly on 50.2, that's okay. Okay, check the method. If you have got it wrong, don't worry, okay, just make sure it's similar to mine. Guys, well done for tuning in today. I'm really proud of all of you, and well done if you've tuned in future. Okay, this is great work, and it's going to help you loads. Okay, so well done, guys, proud of you all.